Game 1 for Team Stealth Bunnies. Go play, go play. And game 2 is going to be on Wind and Cloud, and it features myself, Birdie, playing Zerg against pivert94, who's the Protoss player, and yes, and let's see if a resource counter. Yes, there is in fact a resource counter. Anyway, we may as well get straight into the game because why not? Here we go, Wind and Cloud, Stealth Bunnies, Birdie playing against pivert94. Boom. Nope, that didn't work. Boom, there we go. And in the top left corner we have the yellow Protoss, who is pivert94. So that is the 11 o'clock position. And then we have the red Zerg, who is sB.Birdie. In the bottom left corner, looking good in red, I have to say. And that is the 7 o'clock position. The Stealth Bunnies. Whoa, where's the overlays? Overlays. Don't fall through. Ah, there we go. And Stealth Bunnies is 1-0 up in this best of 5. And the map is not Fighting Spirit, it is Wind and Cloud, which, as the IC Cup map statistics show on the IC Cup re-rank, provided kindly by Bluebimp. It is a Zerg favoured map, but not by much, but it is a few percentage in the favour of Zerg over the last, I believe it's 1,000 games or so that have been played. And it looks like we're going to have an overpull here from Birdie. And a Forge, presumably Forge Fast Expand. Coming out here from Pivot. Yes, that is a Forge. Now, of course, Pivot has played in previous D-Ranks team leagues as well. And I believe he's always played for Ace. So he's a long-time Ace player. And he's French, which is like half of Ace is French, which is interesting how they all managed to get onto the same team, because we've got Flo, Ladriblair, City Shuffle, and Pivot, I believe, are all French. I don't know if there's any others. And it looks like he might be placing down another cannon, possibly? Maybe not. Maybe not. He's going to be placing down something. Presumably, yes, he does place down a second cannon, and the reason I say that is significant is because Birdie, of course, who's myself, is known for doing big Ling all-ins and winning with that, but he is going to be producing a drone here, so he will not lose that Overlord. So this second cannon is in some ways not that important, although of course with 6 Lings coming out, and he did scout late, so it's fair enough that he does build those 2 cannons. Anyway, we do have the drone here ready to take the 3rd from Birdie, so it looks like he is going to go for 3 hatch play. Pretty standard stuff so far. And we don't have a gas taken yet from Pivot, who is going to come across here and place his gateway down. Birdie coming in with the Lings here. And the probe is going to come out. Is Birdie going to see it in time, or is it going to get past? He does see it. He is going to go for it, but no, it looks like it does get past. He's going to chase it down there. He's not going to bother sitting around, and looks like the probe is going to go for the 3rd scout, which is going down, so that's fair enough. Ling's, of course, coming back here to sit on the ramp and prevent any more probe scouting. And the probe is going to see the 3rd. Meanwhile, he has placed down his gateway. His nexus was 4 gateways, so, and he does produce his first a lot. He's taken his gas, and now he's moving his guys onto the gas. So far everything's standard. Now, of course, Birdie's last game on Wind and Cloud in the D-Ranks Team League was against Elmaster, I believe. Was it against Elmaster? No, it was on Fighting Spirit. Never mind, that was Fighting Spirit against Our Master. So, what was my last ZVP on Winning Cloud? I can't remember. Anyways, looks like Pivert Donor did a little bit of harassment here against these Zerglings, but they are able to stay alive. And Birdie, of course, sending his lings over to scout the third or potential thirds at least of Pivert. The ling is going to, the probe is going to come in and try and do a scout. But if he runs it onto these lings, he might lose it a second time, which he's already lost it one time. But no, it looks like it doesn't go up. Now Birdie is taking his lair. He has got his third up. And looks like we're going to see a Cybernautics call coming out from Pivert. And his +1 upgrade is on the way, so it looks like he might go for some +1 speed lot play, which is annoying to deal with as a Zerg player, I have to say. And a Spire, of course, coming down from Birdie. So far, pretty standard. Keeping that ling alive. Nice little play there at D ranks. That is pretty important stuff. And he has not yet placed down any other tech. So we'll see whether he's going to place down a Stargate first or whether he's going to go straight for the Citadel of Adun. Yes, he does go for the Citadel of Adun. Going to have some early +1 speed light, and he does produce a Dragoon here, which is probably going to snipe that Overlord. Now, of course, seeing the +1 coming here, looks like Birdie is going to be placing down some Sunken Colonies early, just to be ready for that. And the Dragoon is going to see the Overlord. Looks like he will be able to snipe it. At least he does manage to. Oh no, he's going for the Dragoon. I don't know if that's the right idea, because the Dragoon is still going to actually kill it, regardless of that ling. But he's going to try and get his Overlord up on the high ground here, where it won't be able to be hit. But that's not going to happen, so the Overlord is going to go down. However, he does place down his 4th hatch, so he is going to go for 5 hatch play, it looks like. And he's got a second cannon coming away, a third cannon I should say, as well as another gate, and his speed is on the way. +1 is more than halfway complete. And he has got a nice little wall there that is tight against Zealots, so the Zealots are forced to come through this choke here, which of course you can bring drones across and block that quite effectively. I can hear something hitting something. Ah, this Overlord here, that was a bit foolish from Birdie. He left his Overlord there, and that is going to get down to that Dragoon. He's also getting his range, and his speed is coming quite... Looks like his timing is going to be pretty good. They're going to finish at about the same time. And he has another den here, dual den, because it's really hard to wall down here if you're going to do a Zealot-proof wall, which against +1 speed lots is fair enough that you want to go for a Zealot-proof wall. And he's going Lurkers first. And it looks like Birdie has used his ling to kill off that probe that was trying to place down a third here. So he is aware about that. Some Zealots coming in here though to try and defend that, but a whole lot of lings are actually coming across the map here from Birdie, so it looks like he might be able to try and deny that even more. And he's leaving them at the natural, so he is just going to see when exactly Pivert's going to come across the map here. And no Scourge as of yet, so he doesn't actually realise though that there's no Stargate, I don't think. Well, I know that because it's me that was playing. It's very interesting casting for yourself when you're not actually the one playing. Oh, and Birdie, a little bit of bad control there, losing those links, and he is placing down another cannon. His +1 up has finished, and his speed is finished as well, so he has got a somewhat formidable looking force here. And it looks like he might be his position so that he can attack the third, so it looks like he will be going for the third, but the third has got 2 Sunken Colonies down, so it should be okay in defending this, although it would be a bit close with considering 4 Zealots, 2 Dragoons, and they have got +1. It might be a little bit closer. He is placing down yet another Creep Colony and a Spore Colony. So it looks like the Zealot's going straight for that Sunken Colony. The drone's being pulled, but there's not that many here, so they're not going to be that useful. And it looks like the Zealots are going to continue on past, going for the second Sunken Colony. Another Sunken Colony coming, and there are Zerglings being morphed there, so it looks like Birdie will be able to defend this if these lings come out at just the right time. One drone looks like it does go down there, and the second one is probably going to go down as well. But the lings have popped, the Sunken Colony is complete, and it's going to be able to take down those Zealots. There's a Hydralis out in the field as well. And he does manage to take down another Zealot. And he does lose that Hydralis, but there are 2 more lings here, and there's a Lurker as well. So it looks like that Dragoon is going to go down. So he did manage to keep his hatcheries alive, which are quite important. He did lose 2 drones though and a bunch of sunken colonies, which is unfortunate. And it looks like Pivot's coming across with a big force here, as well as sending his probe to take his third. So he's going to take his third behind this, but Birdie does have lurkers out and quite a few sunken colonies as well as the spore colony here, so I don't know if it's going to be as effective as he would like. And we have a PP from Birdie. His alarm went off at an inopportune time, and a whole lot of links coming across the map here right on time to kill this probe. And it looks like they're going to be able to take down that pylon as well, but the attack is coming into the Birdie's natural, and he looks like he's going to have to pull back though, because he doesn't have anything to deal with that many sunken colonies, and half of his force was over here, and it looks like the lurkers are going to come here, maybe catch him out of position. And Pivot still doesn't have his third. Now looks like the lurkers are going to come back to the base and defend, which is a good decision. And these links still here, this link's still here, so Birdie's very aware as to what's going on. He realizes there's no other third coming out just yet. And he needs to be a bit better on his macro, because these drones need to be droning up. Drone so hard. He has got his +1 armor on the way. The macro is sleeping for Birdie. Macro is sleeping, and that is a lot of Dragoons with +1 as well. That is so annoying to deal with, especially as they range lurkers pretty well. They beat lurkers pretty well, I should say. And Birdie's spreading his lings even more. And the probe does come here, but the ling is aware, and he's even got more lings coming across. And if they manage to snipe that probe, he doesn't want to suicide all those lings just for one probe, so he does pull them back. But of course he does know that the third is going to go down here from Pivot. And of course it's going to be a very late third because of the denial that Birdie has been doing. But Birdie is quite far behind in supply, so he does need to be careful here that he doesn't get caught out and have one of his bases taken down. But he is starting to produce Hydralisks, trying to come bring that supply difference up. And is this lurker going to go down? He does have an observer there, so that's almost definitely going to go down. But Birdie has a small force here coming across the map, but it looks like it's going to get caught out of position. These Hydralisks are just going to go down, weakening his attack force. And of course his attack force has not got much to attack really. He's not going to be able to do that much against this fairly tight natural, so I don't know what he's going to actually plan on doing this. But it looks like Pivot is coming across the map, going for the third here. There's only one lurker here that I can see, and that spore colony does not quite manage to hit that obs. And oh no, there are 2 lurkers here, both but they look like they're both going to go down. Birdie coming across with his map forces from behind, but all these units coming in, the sunken colony is going to go down. The drones are being pulled, and he's going to pull them on top of the Dragoons to try and glitch them out. He does do that somewhat effectively. Should be bringing these drones back though. They're just going to all die if he's not careful. And the lings have arrived at last. Here's the Hydralisk just a little bit later, and a lurker. And it looks like he's actually going to be able to take down this Dragoon force, sandwiching it in between his base and these forces coming across here. So that is quite unfortunate for Pivot, suddenly losing a massive amount of supply there and not really being able to do much damage. He did take down a few drones and a couple of lurkers, but in the long run he needed to be taking down these hatcheries, and without having a strong enough force there, he wasn't able to do that. And he has managed to take a third at last, and he will be placing down cannons to defend that. +2 upgrades on the way, and he has got high Templars, and they're going into Archons as well. Archons are annoying to deal with when you are having a Protoss bust into your base, because they kill all the drones that you've got blocking the way here quite easy because of the splash damage. And Birdie's actually got quite a decent Hydralisk force here, as well as an Overlord coming across here to spot obs presumably, and any Dark Templar that might be there. And he's going to lose both of those Scourge, I think. Oh no, the Scourge is actually still alive, but these Hydras need to move back up onto the high ground, or else they're going to, yes, they do move back up. So the high ground advantage is just so useful. And those Hydras getting caught way out of position, so those are going down there. Birdie wasting quite a few units here. And it looks like these Hydras are all going to go down to those Zealots and Dragoons, so he needs to just pull them back. There's no point wasting those units. And he is taking his 4th base. So Pivot looks like he's got a fairly stable third here, although he should place down quite a few more cannons there to defend it. Although he does have his army sitting outside there, and that's quite a formidable Protoss army. And Pivot has got a very significant supply lead now. With 60 supply lead, that's almost double what Birdie has. And looks like there's a little engagement here, but he does pull back. He realizes he can't take on that force quite easily. But the Hydralisks here coming across the map, but they're coming right at the wrong position because there's all those Zealots there. So those Hydralisks are all going to go down. He's trying to come from the side as well, but you can't really sandwich a force when that force outnumbers you by such a large amount. So Birdie losing even more of his precious supply here. He's looking in a really bad position here, and the Dragoons are coming across the map here. He did manage to snipe one of those Archons though, which is pretty good considering he had, I believe, 2 Archons, so now he's down to just 1. And he has got +2, he's waiting for +2, and now +2 is finished. He's coming across the map here. The Archon goes down very quickly though. That's not going to be much use in killing drones. And the Lurker's still staying up alive. As long as he can keep this Observer away, he might be able to defend this simply because all the Dragoons are just walking onto the Lurkers. One Lurker goes down. We've got some more units coming in the back here to try and squish this off. But there's still a Lurker somewhere under there. That one does go down. The sunken colony is still going though. And the Hydra is coming in from the back. The drones are glitching on top of the goons. Very effective little pull there. And the Zerglings have popped. The Zerglings are going to be able to come in here. More Hydralisks coming in from the back as well. And it looks like he's got 2 Lurkers buried as well. It looks like he will be able to defend this. That was pretty close there. And he's got some Lurkers as well. He's going to be able to bury the Lurkers and take down all of those Dragoons. If Pivot isn't careful, 3 of them already going down. Zealot going down. And Pivot trying to just run his units back across the Lurkers. That was a little bit silly. Okay, and Birdie does manage to defend it. He did lose quite a few probes and a whole lot of buildings, but again, the hatcheries are still alive. The den is still alive. He's still going to be able to survive this. And now he suddenly has this high ground position. The supply lead is suddenly not near as good for Pivot. So that attack there is actually quite crucial for Pivot, and he didn't manage to pull it off. Now Birdie has got his 4th base, up and running to a certain extent. And looks like the Zealots are going to come across here and should be able to deal with that actually quite effectively. So, and even with the Storm on there as well, all of those Lurkers going down, which is quite bad for Birdie. He doesn't have that many Lurkers. He doesn't have the gas to waste on just throwing away Lurkers like that. Should have kept them back at his base instead of throwing them away. So mad about that. And he has taken his nether gas, so he will be able to go for his Queen's Nest if he so desires. Pivot's still not yet taking a 4th, so he's going to stick on his 3rd, but he's just about mined out at both of his other bases, so he's going to need to be a little bit careful about that. Now we do have the forward Spore Colony here, which is really useful for killing those pesky Observers, so if he can keep those Observers away, those Lurkers are going to be able to defend everything, which is really useful for him. And he does have a bit of a force here, looking to, I don't know what, actually, because that's not really that many Hydralisks, and this looks like he is going to come in. The Lurkers haven't morphed yet, so he is going to come across the map. These Lurkers are actually going to be quite well defended against the Delta, and the Observer is probably going to go down. He does manage to keep the Observer alive though, and he can still see the Lurkers, so the Lurkers are going to go down. We have got more Lurkers morphing, and he has got a whole lot of units actually coming across from the back here. Looks like he's going to sandwich them again. Lurkers burrowing, and that High Templar does not have enough energy for another storm, but the Zealots are getting across into the main, and these look like they're going to be able to clean that up, but the Zealots are coming in. Where are they going to go? Are they going to go for the drones? Some of the drones... No, they don't manage to take a single drone down, and they're going straight for the Spire, trying to take that down. And a whole lot of drones actually going down to these Dragoons here, but the Dragoons are cleaned up. And the Spire goes down. It looks like these Hydras are going to go down as well, and he needs to be careful. But he's got even more Hydras coming in from the natural, so it looks like these Zealots are going to go down. I say go down too much, don't I? And I'll try not to say go down so much. Okay, the Zealots die. The Zealots explode in blue viscous vapor. And it looks like we have a Lurker drop here from Birdie in the 3rd base, and it looks like Pivot does notice it, pulling off his probes, bringing his Observers in and some Zealots to deal with it. But he is moving the Lurker closer though, and he's actually moved all his probes onto the same position, so he might lose quite a lot here. Already 1 kill on that Lurker from previous times, but it looks like it was aiming down the Zealot, which he did not want to do. He should have been going for the probes. A little bit of poor control there from Birdie. He does have more Lurkers morphing in. He did manage to save one of those Lurkers as well, so it's not so bad. And he needs to be careful with these Hydras. He doesn't want to waste Hydras. He still doesn't have much of a supply. To be honest, both players are pretty low on supply, so he needs to be a little bit careful about keeping his units alive. Excellent Ling placement by Birdie though, so he is aware of any bases that are tried to be taken, and it looks like Pivot is going to come across here and take his 4th base. But this Ling of course does spy it. Birdie knows what's up, and he probably realizes that there's quite a few units misplaced here. Be interesting to see what he does. Looks like he's just droning up at the moment though. A lot of drones coming out, placing more creep colonies. Look, he's going to get some more Sunkens and so on. He hasn't rebuilt his spire, but considering there is no Stargate from Pivot, I think that's going to be just fine. And it looks like he is going to come across the map to try and deal with these Dragoons, try and prevent that third from going down. And he does have the high ground, but the Dragoons coming up on the high ground as well. But it looks like he might be able to turn all of these Dragoons into blue goo. And there are some units coming across to defend that, so he has to be a bit careful there. If he pushes in against this, he is going to have a bit of trouble. Oh, but looks like he's just going to try and kill those Dragoons on the high ground, which is not working for him, especially with that +3 upgrade. Pivot staying very strong on his upgrades, and Birdie is only on 1-1. So those Dragoons are super effective. Super effective. So this has turned into quite a low supply game, simply because both players keep throwing all of their units away. They need to be a little bit more careful about controlling the units. And that Lurker is going to be able to defend that. If he can see those observers with that Overlord, then he'll be able to snipe them a bit. But looks like he isn't able to do that. Oh, and he does see the observers, but the observers are pulled back right on time, and he has to be careful with that Overlord. Doesn't want to get that sniped, right? Not this time. And he does have an observer here checking for any hidden bases that he can pressure. Oh, and 5 Dark Templars coming across. If he's able to take down that Overlord and that Spore Colony, all he needs to do is bring these Dragoons across, take down the Overlord, and he is coming across here. There is a Creep Colony morphing. Looks like he wants to make that into a Spore Colony, but the Overlord is going to go down. Once the Overlord's down, no, but he's running his Dragoons onto there, but the Overlords are down. He is going in with the Dark Templar and the Observer, but he needs to be careful though, because this is a Spore Colony mutating, and the Spore Colony does complete. 6 of those Dark Templar look like they're all going to run onto the Lurkers. He does have to take down 4 Lurkers though, which is not the end of the world, certainly for him. Quite efficient trading there, although he did lose a lot of hit points on these, and it looks like he's going to go again, but there is a Overlord and a Spore Colony there, so those Dark Templar are just going to go straight down into blue, not blue goo actually, they turn sort of into like blue fiery stuff. Anyway, those Dragoons are going to be cleaned up, and it looks like Birdie's trying to push out, but against these Zealots it's going to be a little bit annoying to deal with, and he doesn't have his speed yet on his Ling, so those are not going to be effective against that, especially with that Dark Templar, which is just here. And a random probe, gas probe. Yes, very strange. Birdie's throwing down some more hatcheries. Pivot's defending his bases. And basically all that is a lot of speed Zealots. They do have +2 armor as well. Birdie's falling a little bit behind on the upgrades here, although he does have his He does have his +2 upgrade on the way. And these Hydras again suiciding themselves. If they're all the way out here from all the defenses, then that is not good for them, because they're just going to die. He needs to be more careful there. But all these Zealots running onto the Lurkers, and there are a lot of Lurkers here. The Observers are not able to see anything, and all the Observers have gone down, so these Zealots are just going to all die to the large quantity of Lurkers here. So that is a lot of supply vanishing very quickly from Pivot. He does pull the drones as well, and he just has no detection, so he's not able to do anything with these here. And that was unfortunate to an extreme amount here from Pivot. And it looks like Birdie is going to try and take another base here. And yeah, there's still a Dark Templar out in the field being annoying, as it does. And is he actually going to place down third or not? He does have the resources for it. 1,000 minerals is quite a lot. And this Dark Templar is still checking out, looking for bases. But suddenly a change has occurred, as that Pivot, his macro has slipped, and he doesn't have as many units as he doesn't really have that much of a army advantage anymore, with Birdie having quite a lot of units now. In comparison, at least, it looks like he might be able to compete quite well against this. And it looks like he might actually be splitting up and looking to go for some sort of attack here. And he does have the high ground advantage. He's going to come down on here on top of these Dragoons. He's got the high ground advantage. Yeah, you want to see the kills on the lurkers? 9 kills, 4 kills, 5 kills. It's not actually that many, but they did do the damage, and that's the important thing. And these Hydra are still in a good position, although there's a lot of goons, and they all have +3, +2. +2 has finished for Birdie though. He does have the high ground advantage, so he will be able to do quite effectively at this range. A lot of Dragoons melting into blue goo. Hydralisk going down into red mush though, and he's going to have to pull back here though. He needs to stay on the high ground, otherwise he's immediately going to lose. Have another drone here, so he's got 2 drones ready to take base. He's got the resources, but he's just not taking the bases. Looks like the Hydralisk finally losing their high ground advantage and falling into disarray. Even tried to morph a lurker there, but that's not going to work. And against that, those few Hydralisks are not going to go that well. And this probe here, looks like the probe wants to come across here and take this base, but with Birdie they're trying to take the base as well. Both players trying to take the base, and he has another probe coming across. Maybe he's just using them to scout actually, but he does have that base there. And this probe, I'm pretty sure it ends up going here because I remember that probe because I kill it. And Pivert trying to build up his forces again. Still got his upgrades going strong. And he's going to be 3-3 very soon. And it looks like they're going to go for an engagement with Birdie with a high ground again. But he's going to have to pull back there because with these zealots in his base and the storm. Not that great a storm though, but he is still going to have to pull back though. He can't use like 6 Hydralisks to fight against this many goons and zealots. And looks like this both probes coming to this base, and the Link is going to be able to kill both of those if he so desires. Oh no, the Link runs out and the probe's still there, but no, the Link runs back and Birdie's seeing that probe moving on his mini map and dealing with it as must be done. And Birdie here has got quite a lot of force coming up here. But with that High Templar and that many cannons, that is going to be rather difficult to deal with. A lot of Hydralisks grouped up in the bunch, and the Zealots are going to come in and try and deal with that. And all of these Hydralisks, I managed to miss that completely, but a lot of Hydralisks have just simply vanished to that storm. 6 kills, 7 kills on those 2, and of course these Dark Templar kills as well. But it looks like he's going to go in and try and take down the 3rd. He is going to be able to take down some cannons. He's pushing in. Another cannon looks like it's going to go down. Both cannons going down. And a lot of units coming across from Pivot there to defend this, so that is not going to work. Might lose all these overlords as well, which would be quite unfortunate, but he's going to try and run those away. And that SUV goes down from who was obsing, I think it was the Marine, but he had to leave because it was lagging. And +1 on the way, and we still do not have Hive Tech from Birdie. So Birdie is somewhat lagging behind in terms of his tech, especially with these upgrades on this army here. But he has managed to take this base. It looks like he's going to have enough to defend it. And is Pivot going to try for the 3rd base again? There is a lurker there and a lurker there. Could be able to survive this, but that is a lot of speed lots and dragoons. Not actually that much. Where is his army gone? His army just seems to vanish all the time. It's like he has a massive army, then it's suddenly gone. But Birdie is poised to deal with this, although, having said that, these guys coming across here are going to attach these Hydralisks unawares, and Birdie doesn't really want to have to deal with that now. He wants to keep all his units together defending when he's at this low numbers. And he's just going to lose a whole lot of Hydralisks again. Storm going down on them, at least he's storming his own zealots. Don't mind that at all. And Birdie is actually looking a bit low on the mineral count. He really needs to get his base up, keep this base up and running. Looks like he is going to go and try and take another base though. But these zealots are easily going to be able to, well, this army is easily going to be able to deal with that. So that's not going to work as well as he'd hope. And there are a couple of zealots there still chilling, so it's going to be hard for him to take this base. This base is almost mined out. This base is going strong, and this base is going strong. And he is going to go in though. Only one lurker there to defend, but that might be enough. I don't see any observers with this army, so that lurker alone is going to be enough to deal with it. And that spore colony in the front. There is an observer there, but that spore colony will just take it down. And these Hydralisks are all going to die. He does manage to take down both High Templar though, which is quite crucial for defending. Although honestly, with sunken colonies, they sort of quite effective against High Templar, because you know. Oh, and all these Hydralisks are going to come across right at the wrong position with again these Zealots on the high ground coming down here, but it looks like might be able to start taking them on. Does snipe the observer, and he's going to pull back. So that observer, again, a crucial observer snipe, keeping Birdie inside the game. Without these observers here, he's just unable to push into this lurker field. This super effective lurker field, and he is going to go up for some sort of drop. And if you can time this right, I mean, there's not that many minerals there to be honest, but still denying the gas would be important. And Pivot actually really needs to take another base. Now there is a hidden lurker here, and I remember putting that on hold position, so that's a hold position lurker there. Just chilling, and the drop does go down. A lot of probes are going to go down as well, and is he going to respond to this? No, he's just pulling his probes, but he's not going to send guys to defend that. Interesting decision. And all those Hydras are going to go down, but these ones are going to stay here, stay hidden, and looks like they're going to go straight for the gas. Still no response as of yet from Pivot, so it looks like he is just going to let his gas go down. But he is floating 4,394 gas, so I don't think that matters that much. And he is going to be able to take down that Nexus as well. Looks like he's going to get prepared for an attack here on the second again. And he is going to come in. Here he comes. But the Overlord's coming back though, and there is one observer. If that observer goes down there, the observer is pushed back, and suddenly the lurkers again are super effective. How many kills have these lurkers got? 12 kills, 8 kills, 13 kills, 9 kills, and still the observers are out of range, I believe. And observers coming back in though. Observers are coming in at the right time, but it looks like Birdie is responding with a counter-attack of his own, taking down the last mining base that Pivot has, and that is much more important than this natural, which had no minerals and only gas left. It looks like he is going to go for the main here though. See if he's going to be able to defend this. And he has taken that down. All of the probes going down. This High Templar, is it going to get a storm off? No, this High Templar goes down as well. And suddenly Pivot is looking in a poor position. Suddenly the situation has completely changed, and looks like he is going to be able to take this hive soon if he so decides. But without that mining base, he is trying to take another base up here. And as long as that goes unnoticed, he might be okay. But even this force inside his main is going to be destroyed by Birdie with his sunken colonies and Hydralisks. Now he should be going for a hive. Needs his hive tech. Because this 3-3 army is just brutal to deal with. Although he does have 2-2, which is pretty good, you know. And he's engaging here. He's got a lot of Hydralisks there, but if the storm goes down, one storm going down, that's a money storm. And is he going to get another storm down? No, it looks like all the Hydralisks are going to go down, but he does storm it anyway. And his base is just about complete, but he really needs to get that up. He actually does not have much probes. He's got probes there, but that's pretty much all of his probes. He's actually really low down on supply now, and without any income, he's going to burn through those 900 minerals pretty quickly. His gas, of course, will be a little bit harder to burn through as such. And his hive is halfway done from Birdie, and he has the high ground as well with all these Hydralisks. Okay, he's going to be able to deal with this. This high ground on Wind and Cloud, it's like Sniper's Ridge, except there's 2 of them though. It's so beautiful for Zerg. Such a good Zerg map. Ha 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 ha. Although, to be honest, the best thing about this map for Zerg is that this third here is hard to hold for Protoss because he doesn't have the high ground advantage. So when Zerg's coming across the map and shoving in there, and that's going to go down. There is still a lurker there, but that might be... And there's an engagement. Birdie's pushing up onto the high ground. Flang's coming in here as well, and the Hydralisks, all the Dragoons falling prey to this Hydralisk attack, and there are lurkers coming in, which if they burrow should be just instrumental in finishing this attack off. But he isn't burrowed them. Finally he does burrow them, and there are no observers, so Pivot's going to have to pull back there. He does bring an observer though at a very nice time, although there is a Hydralisk there, so he needs to be a little bit careful. and he is going to be able to take down those lurkers. This hold lurker's still chilling there. And this base finally is up, but he still hasn't moved all his probes here. He really needs to transfer all of those probes over. And these overlords running onto the cannons, that is not what they want to be doing. And this is an interesting game because it's turned into a really late game with really low supply for both players, because they consistently either throw away units or are constantly fighting. I think that would be the main reason, because these players are constantly fighting. Neither player just sitting back and letting the other player macro, but they're both always trying to work on the other player. And of course, Birdie is going to have some pretty good lings in a moment. He's got +2 on the way and his attack speed upgrade. And Pivot really is in trouble. He needs to be producing non-stop probes from there, and he is finally made up. No, he's not. He's still got his probes here. He needs to transfer these probes to this base. He needs to try and take this base again, or even this base, as he does have a decent army to defend that. As long as he can hold that, he's going to be just fine. Birdie with the lings checking to see if this base is here, and I remember being surprised that he didn't have that, because he really should have retaken it. Anyway, the upgrade is complete for those cracklings, and looks like Birdie is switching tech, going for some mass crackling play. That is a lot of lings, and that is the beautiful thing, is that even if you're low on gas, which Birdie is not really, you can just have millions of lings suddenly appear. And it looks like these, oh, are these two armies going to collide? Yes, it looks like they are going to try and come up, but the lings are there. Oh, and a lot of lings coming across here as well. This could actually turn out quite well, because there's a lot of dragoons here for Birdie. Depending on what he decides to do, if he decides to engage here, or it looks like he's not going to engage, he's going to go for the natural. So while this army is distracted here, Birdie's going for the natural, coming in with his lings and a couple of random hydralisks as well. And the cannons are going to go down pretty quickly here, though a lot of lings falling prey to that little choke there as they try to get in the wrong way. And the lings have completed that. The armies are coming across to defend, but the lings are coming across onto the high ground, going to try and take down all of these gateways, which they are able to do extremely quickly. Look how fast that hit points is going down. And at last the probes are coming across here from Pivot. He is at last going to transfer them, but there's a whole lot of lings coming across here at right the correct moment. Looks like the lings might be able to take down the probes if they come across at the right time, but that is a money storm. That is a good storm there, and I think these probes should be just fine. Birdie has taken another base though, and suddenly Birdie is on 1, 2, 3 mining bases. Looking good for Birdie here, and all of a sudden, because Pivot's stuck on his one base and he hasn't taken another base, he really does need to take that. And he does actually have the minerals to be able to do it, but he of course needs to try and macro off his gateways as well. And oh, a lot of lings coming here. What are these probes doing here? These probes don't want to be anywhere near these lings. That is not good position for lings to be in. And Pivot's army is way out of position here. It looks like these lings are going to be able to do a lot of damage if they come in. Even more lings over here if he sends them in now. And he does send them in. Looks like Pivot's going to be overwhelmed here. His forces are coming, but they're slow and they're stuck behind these high Templars as well. Lings coming up the ramp, and there's only one cannon defending. This is not good for Pivot, and he could engage. Is he going to go for the engagement? He is. He even has more lings coming across to delay that army there. So he's going to take down the cannon, and presumably he's taking down a lot of probes as well actually, but he's presumably going to go straight for the Nexus here. And that Nexus is going to go down really quickly. This is bad for Pivot because he's only at 600 minerals, and he can only afford to rebuild that Nexus and do not much else here. And he does rebuild the Nexus, he's rebuilding it, and this Lurker is still chilling though, and he hasn't actually seen that Lurker. The Nexus is on his way, and that is a lot of lings. And Birdie going for his Ultralist tech here as well. He's got a lot of gas saved up, so that is going to be just fine as he's going pure crackling at the moment. Once he gets his Ultras though, and oh, all of these lings are going to just die to all these Dark Templar here. That is a lot of lings, but that is a lot of Dark Templar, and it looks like he is going to be effective in dealing with all of that. And all of these probes long distance mining here, as they have to wait until that Nexus does come back out. Fair enough though, Ultralist upgrades on the way, and looks like Birdie is still going for the mass link play until his Ultralist upgrades are complete. He does have his +3 ling attack on the way, and now of course he noticed that all of those Dark Templar over there. What was that? That's under he's just lifting off his Hydralisk, being efficient there, and he's coming across with the Overlord, so he is going to have detection the next time he goes in. And with detection, I think there's not that much here to defend this base here. A lot of Archons defending here, so that would be quite effective against any Massling play. And these Lings look like they're going to try and chase down these probes there. But they're not able to take down even a single probe. Wow, probes are pretty good, yeah. Wow, he does manage to take one down to 2 probes. Fair enough, fair enough. And he is coming in with the Lings. He has got the Overlords here as well for detection. This army is going to be repositioning itself, but this is actually not that many Lings here. I'm not sure if this is the best decision. And oh, that is not the good decision, because Birdie is coming across here with all these Lings. Although, is he coming around for a flank, or is he going to go for the base? He should just go straight for the base here. There's nothing defending here at all. There's only probes here. Pivot caught massively out of position, and these Lings here are going to be able to delay that force for at least a while. And is he going to go for the Nexus? He really should be. All of the probes going down there, and that's nearly as important as the Nexus, because he has nothing left to be able to mine with. So even if he doesn't take down this Nexus, he is in a strong position. This is looking like it might be over for Pivot. It's going to be hard for him to come back, and we have Ultralisk on the field. Ultralisk are on the field, people. That Nexus is going to live, though. The Nexus staying alive with 118 health, but the second attack here from Birdie is just going to tear through all of those gateways like they are tearing through paper. And even more Lings coming across here to deal with that, and as quickly as possible. And Pivot is looking pretty sad right now. He's not even producing any more probes. He can only afford a couple more probes as well. Sad face for Pivot. And once he sees these Ultralisks, he's not going to be happy at all. Now, Birdie really should have had 2 evolution chambers, because he can afford to have the dual upgrades. But it looks like he's going to be waiting for the speed before he sends out his Ultralisk, because he's not 100% aware of just how many units there are here. And there's 3 Dark Templar here, which tried to do some harassment, but they were denied by Birdie's positioning. All of the cannons have gone down in the main, so these Lings are going to be uncontested as they start to chop away at all this. And even more Lings coming in here to just be annoying. And Pivot with the TT. Very sad for him. He has got 2 probes, and he has even got another probe over here. But it looks like Birdie is going to come in, though. The Lings coming first, though. They don't want to be doing that, and the Overlords are a little bit slow behind. So these Dark Templar are going to be doing pretty well. But the Overlords do at last arrive, and he's going to be able to see just what's up with all those Dark Templar. A lot of Ultralisks coming in here. And the Archons finally are going to go down. All the Dark Templar are actually still affected because the Overlords were badly positioned again. But he does take them down. Nothing much left on the map here for Pivot. And GG! Birdie taking game number 2.